Oh my God, Jason Stalman, how you doing? My name is
Hi.
Devon.
Hello.
I'm an artist from New York City. I love
Hi.
your look. I would love to draw your portrait,
Oh, really?
if you have time.
Sure, I have time.
Okay, let's
Cool.
do it. So what's your name and what's one of your biggest dreams in life?
I'm Jason Stalman. My biggest dream is probably just to be at peace with myself in my head.
That's a great dream. What do you do for work?
At the moment, in an animation company in Portland called LAIKA.
Where did you start your animating career?
I started animating. I did it at college, actually. I was just doing it on my own back in the day. I'm about 200 years old, so back then,
Yeah.
there were so many people that I knew on TV in England who were doing stop motion animation, making kids TV work, and I always loved it. I used to kind of like just play a lot with models and clay and things when I was a kid anyway, naturally, so it just seemed like the next thing to do for me.
That's so cool. Which part of England did you start that in?
I was born in Manchester, then moved to North Wales, but then I went to art school in London. And while I was there doing an illustration course, I just got chatting with one of the lecturers, and he was seeing my work, and he was saying it reminded him of some stop motion stuff that he loved. And I suddenly realized that actually maybe I could sort of start going in that direction away from drawing and painting, which I never really kind of felt that comfortable just doing.
Yeah.
I wanted to do something that involved sculpture and movement and then camera work as well, so.
All right, I'm gonna draw the Big Ben in the background for you.
Yeah, London, baby.
I like to customize everyone's portrait.
I used to live across the river from Big Ben. I could set
Oh,
my
you
watch
did?
from it. I did, yeah.
Oh wow,
Loved
that's a nice neighborhood.
it. Yeah, it was great. Wish I'd kept my apartment that I had there.
Can you tell me a bit more about your role at LAIKA Studios?
Yeah, I'm an animator, so that means I actually manipulate the puppets. We have these, any kind of arrangement this height to this height kind of puppets that have a metal armature inside, like a skeleton that's tensionable. And we'll do what we call a LAV, or a live action video reference. I usually film myself, use it as a reference to then put the performance into the puppet and manipulate it 24 frames per second of film.
That's so cool. What was the first character that you animated at LAIKA?
When I first started at LAIKA, it was on ParaNorman,
Yeah.
and Norman was the first character I got to do. Often we do character development, so we test stuff. We want to figure out how this character might move, how they might walk, try to get their personality over. So I was part of that early development with him.
Yeah. Wow, that's so cool. All right, I'm gonna draw Norman in the background.
Okay. Draw Normie, little Normie in there.
What's one of your favorite things about animation?
It's telling stories. You see all kids doing it. They're exploring the world with their toys, and they're telling stories as they're doing it, and they're communicating themselves and exploring how things make sense to them. And I think part of why I like doing it is because you are storytelling. Well, you're making these films. It's what you are. You're part of the world, and you're using your imagination to sort of like make connections with those things. And again, it's one of those things that's like part of human nature, isn't it? To share stories together. And this is just kind of like another way of doing that.
That's so true. Yeah, I love storytelling. All right, so I'm gonna draw a stack of books in the background. It's very fitting since we're in a bookstore right now. What does a typical day look like for you?
There's such a long process to do what I do. It starts with being briefed by the director on a shot within a sequence I'm about to do. We talk about what that part of the film is about, like what's the message that we have in this little bit of the film, what we're trying to say in this little bit, what's the character trying to say, what situation are they like trying to survive or deal with, how they're dealing with their situation. Then I'll try and act it out to the voice, which I love doing, and I just dip into my imagination and lose myself in it.
That's so fun.
I don't remember facts, I remember feelings, and I can kind of like tap into that library within myself of feelings and stuff and get access to that while I'm filming myself, and then surprise myself and what my body's doing.
Yeah.
And then use that in the character. If I feel like I've watched myself do something and something cool comes out in a movement or whatever,
yeah, I
can't wait to do that then in the puppet, because I feel like I get it and I know how it's going to work. So it's even though stop motion is really time consuming to do, there's still a lot of spontaneity and surprise in it as well, even for me, you know.
So do you have a childhood memory that connects to what you do now?
I didn't have any friends. Who cares? Most people are rubbish. And I had this wooden board that I would keep underneath my bed, and I'd created this whole landscape from this. There's this German television series called The Singing Ringing Tree. I never really liked toys you could buy off the shelves. I always made my own stuff, and environments and little worlds and things like that, yeah.
Wow,
I prefer to live in my imagination, I think, than the real world.
Yeah, wow, that's so cool. What inspired that? Was that just something that came to you naturally as a kid?
I think it's just the way my brain is wired. I'm not good academically. I can't do math. I definitely fall into the, you know, you want to put a label on like the ADHD.
Yeah,
creative thing, yeah. And I think that just the way my mind works, how I explore the world is through my hands and my imagination. My creativity comes out that way naturally. It's not something that you kind of go, oh, I'm going to be an artist.
Yeah.
You just live in that world, right? Your brain's wired that way.
When I think about why I love drawing and painting,
Yeah.
I'm just like, I didn't really have a coach or anything. It was just like wired.
It's just right there, right? It's one of the little gifts you can kind of like tap into.
What's been your favorite project that you worked on at LAIKA?
I loved doing Courtney on ParaNorman. It was like my awkward stupidity trying to do these dances. So that was so much fun to do.
What's something about your job that people wouldn't expect?
There are so many animators working on the film. There can be like 30, 35 plus animators working on a movie. There'll be like 10 of those animators who will all do ParaNorman, or all those animators will all do one character. So there's multiple versions, multiple puppets of the same character. So you're not just cast as that one character, you're all cast as the same character, and you have to find some universal language that kind of ties them all together.
Is there a piece of work, yours or someone else's, that deeply impacted you?
I guess growing up as a kid, I was always into Ray Harryhausen. He did all the creature feature animation stuff, the original Clash of the Titans and Jason the Argonauts and all that kind of stuff, and I always really loved his animation. I didn't know at the time, I was a kid, really what it was, but I just loved the way he animated Medusa in the Clash of the Titans, and I was just enthralled with the way that he made her move. It was just something so poetic and beautiful about it that even to this day I'll watch it, and he just would do this movement with her, the way that she would like rear up, and I don't know, you know how sometimes something just is like beautiful to you?
Yeah.
And I think that has haunted me like my entire life.
Yeah, for sure. That reminds me of one of my teachers that I just saw him painting one day, and I just knew in that moment that that's what I want.
That's it. It just was like your language, right? It just, suddenly the world made sense, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
If you had to describe your job in 3 words, what would they be?
Magical, ridiculous, and unique.
Love those words. What's one thing that you learned at LAIKA Studios that changed the way you see creativity?
Maybe just don't lose yourself. There's a reason you end up doing these things that you don't have to understand, and it just like lives within you, and I think that holding on to that is really important. I try and stay inspired, look at stuff, stay curious, and like be generous with yourself about that, and be playful and childlike, and just remember to bring yourself to the party too, because that's why you're a creative person.
What message do you think the world needs to hear right now?
Just be yourself, no matter what anyone says. That's your power, and all the stuff that you're told is different about you. Whenever someone points out, oh, you're weird or you're different, they're telling you what your strength is. So listen to that. Be like, oh, okay, well, that's my cool stuff. Someone says you're too much or you're too loud or anything, good.
Those are my favorite kind of people.
Yeah, no, exactly. You navigate to the people that you want.
All right, Jason Stalman, thank you for sharing your life with me. This is my interpretation of your life.
How do you do it?
I'm so glad you like it, Jason. Thank you.
That's insane.
Thank you so much. So, you know, you used to live across the street from the Big Ben, so I got the
Right.
Big Ben right here. I got Norman. I got the books, because you're a great storyteller.
My beautiful face.
Oh, yeah. Can't forget that. Thank
You made
you.
me cry.
Thank you so much, Jason. Thank you. It was an honor to draw you here.
Thank you.
All right. Have a great day.
Wow. Bye.
Take care. Keep smiling.